Welcome back to the deep dive, where we dig into fascinating source material.
Hmm.
And this time,
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
I know, I'm so excited for this one. We're diving into the world of mythology
Oh, yeah.
with Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces.
Classic.
It is. So we're going to explore the common patterns and symbolism in hero myths
Okay.
across cultures and try to figure out why they are so universally compelling.
It's amazing how, despite coming from totally different cultures,
Yeah.
these stories all seem to follow a similar blueprint.
Right.
I feel like there's this underlying structure that Campbell calls the monomyth.
The monomyth, yeah, it's like a secret code embedded in human storytelling.
Uh-huh.
And he breaks it down into these three key stages: departure, initiation, and return.
Right.
And what I find so interesting is how each stage is not just about like outward actions and adventures,
Yeah.
but they reflect inner transformations too.
Absolutely.
Like in the departure stage, the hero gets that call to adventure.
Right.
Think Dorothy stepping into Oz.
Exactly. And often there's this meeting with a supernatural helper
Oh,
who
yeah.
guides them, like in the Navajo myth, where the
Yeah.
twin war gods get these magical charms from Spider-Woman before venturing out into the unknown.
It's all about leaving the familiar behind and crossing the threshold into uncharted territory.
Totally. And then things get really intense in the initiation stage.
Yeah.
This is where the hero confronts inner demons, their deep-seated fears
Yeah.
and flaws. It's like a
Right.
symbolic death and rebirth.
Like Inanna's descent into the underworld in the Sumerian myth.
Yeah.
She has to shed everything to be reborn.
That's a great example. And, Campbell doesn't just describe these stages.
Right.
He really digs into the psychological and spiritual transformation that the hero goes through.
I love
Like the atonement with the father stage, which
Yeah.
isn't always about a literal father,
Mhm.
but like a representation of authority, embodying the hero's internal fears and limitations.
So it's like confronting those limiting beliefs that hold us back from becoming our true selves.
Exactly. Think about the story of Taliesin the Welsh Bard.
Okay.
He was swallowed by this hag, Caradwyn,
Oh, wow.
and then reborn with all this wisdom and poetic power.
It's like a metaphor for confronting our shadow self.
Yeah. And the hero archetype itself takes so many forms.
Oh, right. It's not just the warrior or the adventurer.
Right. Campbell explores the child hero, the lover, even the tyrant,
Wow.
each representing different facets of the human experience.
And showing the complexity of being alive.
Exactly. Like the Chinese emperor Shen Nung,
Okay.
who's often depicted with a bull's head. He's a great example of the primordial hero.
Okay.
He brings order to the chaos by inventing agriculture and medicine.
Oh, that's amazing. Or how about the Irish warrior Cuchulainn,
Oh, yeah.
the child hero who shows his extraordinary abilities at a very young age?
Yeah, it's like these ancient stories aren't just entertaining tales.
Yeah.
They reflect these fundamental psychological truths
Right.
and patterns that are still so relevant today.
Absolutely, and that's what makes Campbell's work so profound. He connects these myths to universal human experiences.
Like the Oedipal complex,
Right.
showing how they tap into something deep within our collective psyche.
Yeah, and he doesn't just analyze the stories themselves. He
Yeah.
dives into the symbolism, too. There are all
Yeah.
these recurring images:
Uh,
eggs, water, serpents, journeys underground.
it's like this hidden language embedded within the myths.
Right, and each symbol is loaded with meaning.
Right, the egg.
Yeah.
It often represents creation, rebirth, that potential for transformation.
Like in the Egyptian Book of the Dead,
Oh, yes.
where the soul says, "I rise out of the egg in the hidden land."
Powerful imagery.
It is so powerful, the idea of death as a new beginning.
Yeah, and water.
Oh my gosh, water is everywhere in these stories.
Right, water is such a potent symbol.
Yeah.
Think about the Finnish creation myth,
Okay.
where the world is born from the water mother.
Oh, wow.
Water represents the source of life, the unconscious mind, purification.
I'm starting to see these symbols everywhere now.
I know, right?
Okay, what about serpents? They're often seen as scary,
Yeah.
evil, but they seem to have a different significance in mythology.
Definitely in myths, they often symbolize energy, transformation, and the cyclical nature of life and death.
Oh, that's interesting.
Remember Gilgamesh's quest for immortality?
Yeah.
He finds the plant of youth, but then a serpent steals it,
Oh, right.
reminding us that even heroes can't escape the natural order.
Wow. So even a creature that we often fear can represent something profound
Absolutely.
about the human experience.
Huh?
These symbols are really starting to click for me, but it makes me wonder,
Yeah.
what does the hero look like in the modern world? Do Campbell's ideas still apply today?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll definitely explore further as we continue our deep dive.
I can't wait. As we go deeper into these hero myths, I'm
Yeah.
noticing
Yeah.
how they often tap into some of our deepest fears
Right.
and anxieties, like facing the unknown or confronting our own mortality.
Right.
That's something Campbell really explores in the chapter on dissolutions,
Oh, yeah.
which sounds pretty intense.
It's definitely a thought-provoking chapter.
Yeah.
He tackles this idea of endings,
Okay.
both personally, like the end of the individual,
Right.
and on a cosmic scale, the end of the universe.
Whoa. Okay, so he's not just talking about physical death,
No,
but like the dissolution of all things.
exactly. It's
Okay.
about understanding that change
Yeah.
is fundamental to existence,
Okay.
and that endings,
Right.
while they might seem scary or sad,
Yeah.
are also opportunities for something new to emerge. Think about it.
Okay.
Just like heroes in myths die and are reborn.
Right.
Maybe death isn't the end,
Yeah.
but a transition, a transformation.
It makes me think about that Egyptian Book of the Dead again.
Oh, yeah.
With that image of the soul rising from the egg.
Ah.
They had such a complex belief system about the afterlife,
It did.
focused on rebirth and renewal.
And, when it comes to the dissolution of the macrocosm,
Right.
the end of the universe,
Right.
it's not necessarily about some catastrophic event.
Okay.
Campbell brings in all sorts of cultural beliefs,
Like what?
like the Norse myth of Ragnarok
Mm-hmm.
or the Hindu cycle of yugas.
Yeah.
To illustrate cyclical time, this idea that creation and destruction
Oh, wow.
are interwoven and always lead to renewal.
So it's not that the universe just ceases to exist.
No.
It transforms into something new.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that change is constant,
Right?
even on this massive cosmic scale.
Okay.
That endings are often just the beginning of something new.
That's actually quite comforting
Yeah.
to know that even when faced with immense change,
Uh-huh.
there's still this potential for something new and better
Right.
to emerge. It kind of changes how we approach challenges and transitions
Absolutely.
in our own lives.
Speaking of transitions,
Okay.
let's talk about one of the most fascinating and maybe misunderstood archetypes
Okay.
in mythology,
Yeah.
the shapeshifter.
Ooh, the trickster.
Yes.
I'm thinking of figures like Loki from Norse mythology,
Yeah.
or Echu, the Yoruba god,
Uh-huh.
known for being mischievous and changing forms at will.
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you think makes them so compelling?
I don't know. I think it's like they embody this part of us
Yeah.
that resists being defined.
Right.
That part that's always evolving and adapting.
They remind us that life is fluid and unpredictable,
Yeah.
and that being adaptable is so important.
It's like that saying, the only constant is change.
Exactly.
And shapeshifters embody that perfectly.
Yeah. But they're often portrayed as tricksters,
Right.
causing chaos and disruption.
Yeah, they love to poke fun at authority and challenge social norms.
They do. They remind us not to take ourselves too seriously.
I love that.
Campbell even connects this archetype to the protean quality of the psyche.
What does that mean?
It refers to our ability to move through all these different roles and identities throughout our lives.
So in a way, we're all shapeshifters, constantly changing and evolving.
I like that idea.
Yeah, me too. But how does Campbell suggest we actually apply these insights
Yeah.
about the hero's journey and archetypes to our own lives?
Well, he argues that the hero's journey isn't just some ancient tale,
Okay.
but it's like a blueprint for personal transformation.
Right.
We all face challenges. We experience loss. We yearn for something more.
Yeah.
And these myths offer a framework for navigating it all.
So we're all potential heroes.
Absolutely.
But it's not about slaying dragons
Oh,
or rescuing princesses.
not literally.
Right. It's more about facing our own inner demons,
Yes.
embracing the unknown, and striving for growth and self-discovery.
And it often starts by recognizing that call to adventure in our
Mm.
own lives.
Those moments when we feel pulled towards something new.
Exactly.
Something that challenges us to get out of our comfort zone.
It could be a new job,
Yeah.
a creative pursuit,
Yeah.
a relationship that pushes us to grow,
Right.
even a difficult conversation that we need to have.
It's about being open to those opportunities for growth, even when they seem scary.
Even when they're uncertain.
And just like those heroes and myths,
Uh-huh.
we can find mentors and helpers along the way.
Absolutely.
We can seek guidance and support from others.
It's a reminder that we don't have to do it alone.
Yeah. We don't have to go alone.
A therapist, a teacher, a trusted friend,
Right.
anyone who can offer wisdom and encouragement
Yeah.
as we go through our own trials and transformations.
It's like having our own personal Spider-Woman.
Exactly.
This is starting to make so much sense.
Good.
These ancient stories aren't just entertainment.
No,
They're like maps for navigating life's challenges and
yeah,
becoming our best selves.
it's a great way to put it.
But in the next part, can we dive a little deeper into the practical application of all this?
Of course.
How can we actually integrate these insights into our daily lives? You mentioned that the hero's journey can be like a blueprint
Yeah.
for personal transformation,
Hmm.
but how do we actually apply these ancient myths
Right.
to our modern lives?
Well, Campbell talks about myth, cult, and meditation
Yeah.
as tools for connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
Okay.
It's not necessarily about organized religion,
Right.
but finding practices that help us tap into deeper meaning and purpose.
So that could be anything like attending a religious service
Yeah.
or practicing yoga
Sure.
or even just spending time in nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about finding those rituals or practices or
Yeah.
experiences
Yeah.
that help us connect with that feeling of awe and wonder,
Right.
that sense of being part of something larger than ourselves.
Like when you look up at the stars
Yeah.
and feel that sense of connection to
Exactly.
the universe.
And Campbell reminds us that myths
Yeah.
aren't just these old stories.
Right.
They're living metaphors that can guide us today.
What does he mean by that?
He means that they still speak to something timeless
Okay.
and universal within us.
Yeah.
And the more we understand the patterns and symbols in these myths,
Mhm.
the more we can see how they play out in our own lives
Right.
and in the world around us.
So it's like he's giving us a new lens
Yeah,
through which to view our experiences.
exactly.
That's so fascinating.
It is.
But how do we make this practical?
Okay, well, think about the challenges you're facing right now.
Okay.
Maybe it's a career change,
Right.
a relationship issue,
Uh-huh.
or even just feeling stuck.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing them as isolated problems,
Okay.
try viewing them through the lens of the hero's journey.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed,
Yeah.
we can ask ourselves, where am I in my own hero's journey?
Right.
What stage am I in?
Exactly.
What can I learn from the myths about how to navigate this?
Are you feeling that call to adventure?
Yeah.
Hesitant to step into the unknown?
Right.
Or are you facing trials,
Uh-huh.
feeling lost or discouraged?
Or maybe you're in that return phase,
Yeah.
integrating what you've learned
Right.
and sharing your wisdom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by recognizing where we are, we can draw strength and inspiration
Uh-huh.
from those heroes who came before us.
Right. And remember,
Yeah.
the hero's journey isn't always about these grand, epic feats.
No, it's not.
It can be about those small, everyday acts
Yeah.
of courage and resilience.
And compassion.
Yes.
It's about showing up for ourselves
Yeah.
and for others.
Even when it's hard.
Exactly.
So we all have that potential for heroism within us.
We do.
It's not about being perfect or invincible,
Right.
but about embracing our own journeys
Yeah.
with courage and authenticity.
Beautifully said.
And we don't have to do it alone.
We don't. We can seek out our mentors, our allies,
Yeah.
our support system.
Like those heroes in the myths.
Yeah,
We can lean on others
absolutely.
for support and encouragement.
This has been such an enlightening deep dive.
It really
I'm
has.
glad you think so.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on
Oh.
mythology and on my own life.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember,
Yeah.
this is just the beginning of your exploration.
Right.
There's a whole world of myths and stories out there.
So to our listeners,
Yes.
we encourage you to continue exploring
Uh-huh.
the world of mythology.
And see how these stories can illuminate your own life's journey.
You might be surprised
You might.
by the wisdom and inspiration you find.
Definitely.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep seeking those aha moments
Uh-huh.
that make life so rich and meaningful.